Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are
We are
live.
we are
We're live.
live. Welcome back to another incredibly
Yeah,
long-awaited, stupidly outdated episode of Peter's Peeps
super
podcast.
late, out of date episode.
Yeah, this is the main series. This
Yeah,
isn't
so we're
this isn't the discography dives. This is the main. This is a part of the main attraction here. Let's put this thing in action.
post thing in action.
2 chains. So today we have a pretty interesting episode here. There is a tier list on screen.
Sorry, there's some interruptions.
No, you'll be okay. Um, we have a
All
yeah,
right.
we have a special episode here. There is a tier list on screen. Um, you may be like, oh, why is that? There's a PS2 retrospective. A big part of the PS2 for me and Aflex over here was the Guitar Hero and Rock Band series. Uh, Back in the day, we used to play it on PS2, and then we later upgraded to PS3. And for a while, I actually didn't have a choice but to play this on the PS2 because PS3 guitars are so expensive and rare to come across. I literally didn't find one for 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah, you need to talk to them about the
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 hunt.
fabled hunt you were on
So
for like 5 whole years
so
just to
back
get, what was it, a dongle?
yeah. So in 2016, I got back into wanting to play Guitar Hero, and I started playing. Back in the day, I was in the basement with my brother, and I would just play in his basement with the PS2 guitar.
It was
And
just two and three.
it was
It was
just two
just
and
two and
three
three you would
and
play.
one occasionally, and maybe a Roxy 80s if I was feeling quirky. Um, but yeah, I used to play those games to death. He got really tired of it, and I got really good at them. And I wanted to play on PS3, so starting in about 2016, I started looking for PS3 guitars with the dongle attachment because that's how they hooked up back in the day. Is that they had a transceiver that you would hook up via USB into the PS3 so you could play it. And finding one of these is really hard without at least spending like $100, even back then. So
That's
this was before
it's
Clone
a holy
Hero.
grail, Nagel.
Yeah, this was before Clone Hero really took off too. So guitars weren't being sold as often. So I went on this hunt for about 5 years, looking through eBay, looking through Amazon, looking through local thrift stores, looking at old video game shops, and I found nothing for 5 years. Okay, like eventually I did get a guitar. I got a Guitar Hero 3 Les Paul, which I still have, but I still do not have the dongle to it. That's what we call the Fat Doobies guitar. That's it's like a sequel to the Fat Slobs
Oh
guitar,
yeah.
if you know the lore behind that. Um, but yeah, I found one. What was it? It was last year or the year before, right? I think it was last year.
It was last year. It was the game store. It's literally just called Game Force. It's in Boulder,
Mm-hmm.
Colorado. Shout
Thank you,
out,
Game
because
Force.
Game Force is my favorite.
Thank you, Game
It's my
Force.
favorite game shop, actually.
Shout out.
The
Do
amount of
not
stuff it
harass
has
them.
is crazy.
Do not harass them. But
The
yeah,
amount of stuff Game Force has is like crazy.
it's
It's,
cramped as shit in there
anything you could
too.
ever. Yeah, but it's just all like,
It's all
I
games.
mean, they have probably like 30 Xboxes just sitting there, like fucking 40 PS3s just all on like a wall
Like
and
eight
stuff. And
Dreamcasts that are all like $130.
I mean, that's not bad for Dreamcast, but
Yeah.
like I've found like some of, some awesome games over there. Um, and there's like movies there too. It's just like there's a lot of things there. But yeah, either way, we found a PS3 guitar, and we were able to find the dongle to it. So Yeah, so now he can play all the PS3 Guitar Hero games he wants. Which, to be fair, I mean, that has the best Guitar Hero games.
Yeah,
In my opinion,
that generation.
is yeah, that generation of consoles, whether it be PS3 or Xbox 360. Um, but yeah,
It
no,
it
it's pretty
does,
cool.
and the reason why it has a lot of technical things with it. When I was playing on the PS2, I think Aflex here can attest to this. There were lag spikes sometimes and frame rate drops, and it would make me miss on a lot of songs, and I would just get fed up. So switching over from PS2 to PS3 was awesome. I also later got a PS3 drum set, uh, so I'm able to play both whenever I want, which is cool. But yeah, I've been playing those ever
Oh
since, and I
God,
love these
just hearing
games.
you bang on the drums.
It's actually not that bad. It's not like I remember back in the day I would just wail on them because I was like a young kid, but nowadays it's not really that bad. But you do need protectors for those things. I'll admit, or else they'll get really loud. But yeah, either way, uh, these games have a very special place in my heart. In fact, Guitar Hero 2 was the first ever game that I played. My mom had to hold me up to play the guitar, and I was about 2 or something.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, these games are very special to me, and I would love to rank these on a tier list. Um, so that's what we have here for right now. The PS2 retrospective will be coming very soon after this, but first we have this to look forward to. So starting off, we have the best of the best here. We have great, good, all right, mid, god awful, and then Jared. Which
Jarek is the worst here. If you watched our Mortal Kombat episode, then you know what Jarek tier is.
yeah, it's the Jared tier.
But yeah,
I already can think of one or maybe 2 games that go into the Jarek tier, but we'll get to that. So first things first. I saw this earlier.
let's talk about each game.
Yeah.
Let's
So
talk about each game as we go.
yeah. So band fuse.
Yeah.
This is
So what's
the
that?
only
Band
one
fuse.
on here that I do not know. So I'm actually gonna put this at the very end because I don't want to make like a do not know tier for one thing. So first things first.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
DS Band Hero. So I've never played DS Band Hero, but I've played Band Hero. And now I know Band Hero and DS Band Hero are very different games, just because the engine even has like different songs and stuff on it. But from what I played of Band Hero on the PS3, it's the epitome of a mid Guitar Hero game. It was in that kind of that era where they were just cranking out games left and right, and they didn't necessarily care about the engine or how unique it was or anything like that. Um, so it wasn't very. It was definitely not anything special. It just used the what was it? The Guitar Hero 5 engine. So at least it has that, but that's really it. The songs on here, they're not necessarily rock as much. They have a lot of pop songs, a lot of funk songs to kind of like bring more of a general, I guess, attraction to this game. And unfortunately, a lot of those songs are just kind of like lame, in my opinion. So it doesn't. I think it has probably the worst song list, which is quite surprising. That's hard to do.
Question: shouldn't we put all the DS games in God Awful technically?
Actually,
Because you can't
no.
really compare the DS games
Actually,
to
no.
the regular ones.
I think there's some DS games that are better than some mainline Guitar Hero games. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, some of them are actually okay.
I'm,
And we'll get to those.
I've never played them, so.
So Band Hero DS.
All right.
First of all, I don't even think you can play as a band on the DS version. So why did they make this game? All they
Yeah.
have
Why
was
is
the
it called Band Hero?
yeah. All they have is the Guitar Hero attachment. You know, with the 4 buttons. You know. So I think God
Yeah.
Awful works. Bad set list.
What about regular Band Hero?
Regular Band Hero, okay, it's a step above DS Band Hero, obviously, but low mid. Like I said, Band Hero has a pretty bad sound like song list. uses a good engine, I guess, and the band portion, like when you all play together, it's actually like not that bad. But first of all, you need 4 people to do that, so it kind of leans
I, I,
on a
I
gimmick
don't even
too
know what
hard.
songs.
They have like weird songs on there. Like
I don't even know what songs on there.
I think "Play That Funky Music" is on there. I think was it "You Belong with Me" by Taylor Swift. I think they just have weird
Oh
songs on
God.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, not something I would go back to.
yeah. DJ Hero 2. These two games, the DJ Hero games, I actually never laid a finger on. I never had the attachments to these, but they actually don't look too bad. I've heard DJ Hero 2 is actually like up here, like in the great or good tier. But since I don't know
Really?
these, I think I'm gonna put them at the very end because I don't want to comment and say,
Okay,
"Hey, this
that's
game
fair.
sucks," if other people think it really doesn't, and I don't have any say on it. So, Green Day Rock Band.
Uh,
Um, from what I've played of it, it's not bad. It's not a bad game. Uh, Aflex does not like Green Day. Enough said.
Bro, that sounds like the worst thing ever. A rock band that's just Green Day songs sounds like the worst fucking thing ever.
Um,
I
when
don't know.
the thing with this game is that because it's just one band, they obviously had to put like a whole lot of songs from that one band. And while things like Guitar Hero Metallica, they have like 8 bajillion albums to choose from. At this time, I think this was 2011, 2010. Green Day only had like not as many albums. Like I don't even think Uno Dos Tres even came out. So
Terrible.
they didn't even have that many songs. So most of this game, like I wouldn't say most, but a good portion of this game is just Dookie. Like they have, I think maybe
Oh
almost every
God.
single song from Dookie on here, which I personally don't think the album's bad, but you disagree. Um, I don't hate this game. I think top of mid, just because Rock Band 3 engine isn't my favorite, and it's just Green Day. So
Yeah, like that's it. Like I
yeah.
don't know.
All right,
Not
now
unless you're like a Green Day like fanatic.
in which don't watch this. I don't want people like you watching this. Guitar Hero 1.
Yeah.
Now, what's your thoughts on this?
All
Because this is the
right.
first one you can actually give some input
It's
on.
all right.
You think it's all right?
So sorry. So the first one wasn't the actual first one I played. It was the second one.
Mm-hmm.
First one is very, I always use the word primitive a lot,
It's
but
bare
yeah,
bones. It's
it's pretty
incredibly
much
bare bones.
primitive. It, it's very bare bones. It's very easy to, I don't know, like their notes.
They're
I'm not sure what you
rough.
would call it. Your calibration. Your calibration is very odd in that game.
Well,
I'll
no,
say that.
the calibration isn't bad. It's just because this game came out in '05, they obviously didn't know that HD TVs were going to be a thing. So, because of the latency differences on
True.
AVs and HDMI, it makes this game extremely hard to play. You have to play very early. Um, while it's on a box TV, like the ones that this was made for, this game is actually very solid. Like, like it hasn't aged very well in that department. But I will say that Guitar Hero 1 has some of the, I think, one of the best song lists, in my opinion.
It's all right.
It's pretty good. It has Texas Flood, it has Cowboys from Hell, has Fatlit, has Unsung,
Yeah,
has some really
but
good songs on it.
they're not the
They're not the masters.
but this
They're
was
the
the
they're the covers. Yeah.
yeah, they're all like this is the era that was just covers. So I think
Hmm.
for that alone, it's just all right. I can't
That's
really
fair.
like it's just not one I go back to a lot.
The covers are
That's one
not
thing
that
that
good.
it holds it back a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. Guitar Hero 1, I would put it in good if it wasn't necessarily like all covers. Um, However, Guitar Hero 2, this is another all
It's the
covers
first one
game.
I played.
Yeah, same. First game I played. This is the first, yeah, it's the first game we played, and this one has also covers, but in my opinion, at least, I like Guitar Hero 1's covers over the Guitar Hero 2 ones. Cause
Oh, what? You don't like late to rest
or
cover
or the Beast and the
covers?
Harlot cover. Oh,
Oh God.
hell yeah. Yeah, those covers are pretty rough. Guitar Hero 2 has a decent engine. One thing that we didn't touch upon with Guitar Hero 1, Guitar Hero 1, the hammer-ons and pull-offs are broken, um, or at least they're very gimmicky, and it's extremely hard to hit those without just strumming the notes. So it makes solos incredibly hard. Guitar Hero 2 fixed that for the most part. It just has a really strict timing window, and it means going for FCs on this game when you get them is probably the most rewarding of any game because it's so strict, but it's all skill based. It's not like you're fucking up. It's not the game fucking up. It's it's strictly based on how you play. So I would put it in great because of that. A lot of people put it best of the best, which I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I
Either
really like
great
this
or
game.
good.
I'll put it low end of great. I really like this game. It's very nostalgic to me. It has a very solid track list. It's up there with Guitar Hero 1 in my opinion. Beast and the Harlot, Laid to Rest. Even if those covers are not that great, I do like how those songs are in that game. Uh, it has the notorious God, what is it? What's that song that we memed on in the bonus track list? The Arterial Black by Drist. There you go. God.
Just
Yeah.
oh, the Avenged Sevenfold
Yeah, the
like
ripoff.
wannabe band.
Yeah.
I think they only made those songs for that game. If I'm being honest. There's some songs on there that I've never really heard or I only know from that game. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
it's
to
got
be
some
fair,
stinkers on there.
it has some really good ones on there. Like Six is on there. That's a sick song. It's just it's really hard. Um, yeah, Six is on there. Jordan, as much as people don't like Buckethead, I think it's a funny song. Um, and yeah, honestly, it has Killing in the Name on it. It has Heart Shaped Box. I like those songs.
Yeah,
So
it's got some good stuff.
yeah, so I put it low end of great. This is when they were really starting to find their footing. So Guitar Hero 3. Now, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, it's best of the best." I don't know. I don't know.
I I think it's better than two. I
Okay.
think it's definitely better than two
All
because
right. All right.
it's okay. So you've played it to death
Mhm.
to the point where I know every single song on that game,
Mhm.
um, whether I like it or hate it. So for that alone, I think it has one of the best set lists on
I
there.
don't know. I
This was
actually
the first
disagree,
band.
dude. I don't like this game set list that much.
It, it
Think
has some
about it. Think
classics on there
it
though.
has some good songs, but name like 5 good songs on that game though.
Raining Blood by Slayer, Cliffs of Dover by Eric Clapton, One by Metallica. And what else is on there?
See what I mean?
Okay, I know you hate. I know you hate Story of My Life, but I
No,
don't like that song.
I'm starting to like that song a little bit. It's kind of funny. It just goes on so long. Um,
uh,
Bulls on Parade.
oh yeah, there. See, you're starting to name them too.
It's
And
just
then they have the extras. The
which they
extras like
have
Through
My
the Fire and
Curse,
Flames.
which Through the Fire and Flames is not a good song.
It's not, but it's like legendary in terms of like Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
That
I
was like the
guess.
hardest song for so long.
Which is funny.
And plus,
Which is funny. It's
you had the arcade. Yeah,
it's like 3. I've played it very recently too because I'm going for FCs on it again. And the thing with 3 that puts it out for me on best of the best, I don't like the song lists. I love the engine. I love Guitar Hero 3's engine. It's very lenient. It's very forgiving, but it's still just hard enough to where it feels rewarding. And but when you play this on PS2, it is rough. It is an incredibly rough game. Now the PS3 version is very solid, but PS2 port, it's there's like frame rate drops everywhere. Remember when I would pause the game?
PS2,
Remember when I would pause the game and then the audio would desync? Do you remember that?
Yeah. But it wasn't meant for PS2 though. It was meant for the PS3. They just made it backwards for the PS2.
I suppose, yeah. So I don't know if I can put it in best of the best. I know the PC port is really good, like with mods and stuff and all the things that they've done over there. But I guess, but there's games better.
I mean, you could put it top of great. You could put it on the top of great. I think it's fine, but
all right.
I mean,
we might get some flack, but hear me out. All right, it's not my favorite. It's good. It's a very good game. I mean, it's a very solid game.
It's the first game that doesn't have the covers and shit, so I can give it.
Not true. Not true. There are covers on this game. There's actually a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
Black Magic Woman's a cover. Rocky Like a Hurricane's a cover. Story of My Life is a cover. No,
it's not.
You know it is. Story of My Life is a cover. Slow Ride's a cover. God, what else? I'm thinking of something. Mississippi Queen's a cover.
Well, then they got better cover bands then.
Oh yeah, those covers are kind of insane. Like the Paranoid cover, that's like crazy how close it is. Sunshine of Your Love also has a really good cover too. So, especially those early tiers, those are like a lot of the covers and stuff. But once you get into the later tiers, that's when like the bangers start showing up. Like Stricken, Before I Forget, all that.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 5. I really like this game.
I don't remember a lot of Guitar Hero 5.
I really like this game.
I don't remember a lot of it.
It's not my favorite. I don't think it goes in best of the best. It's really solid though. I'd put it here.
What's on it?
Guitar Hero 5 has a Children of Bodom song. I played it.
I just don't remember.
It has a Children of Bodom song. I think it's. Oh God, what's the name of that song, dude? I know the album name. For some reason. No, I wish, dude. That would be awesome.
Is it Lake Bodom? Is it In Your Face?
No, it's off one of their later albums by that time. God,
yeah, I'll have to go back and look.
And of course, my phone's fucking up. There we go.
I haven't played that game in like.
Done with Everything, like Die for Nothing. There we go. There we go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it has
so it's more variety.
Yeah, it has a good set list. It's not like top set list or anything, but it's up there. 2 Minutes to Midnight, 21st Century Schizoid Man. Has Bring the Noise on it. Has Du Hast. It has Feel Good Inc. Has Fame by David Bowie. Has Judith by A Perfect Circle. Lithium by Nirvana. Play That Funky Music. So I was wrong. It's on 5, not Band Hero. My bad. I'll take that one. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Best song of all time. Has Song 2. Sweating Bullets.
I like that song.
Under Pressure. Has Weezer on it. You love to see it.
Well, yeah, then obviously it's your favorite if it has Weezer on it.
Weezer's funny, dude. But yeah, 5 has a really solid track list. Has probably first or second best engine. It's really fun to play on. It's very forgiving. PS2 port is terrible. Don't ever play it. But
there's a PS2 port of Guitar Hero.
Yeah, 5? I have it. I actively own it right now. I can play it right now.
Oh my God.
It is horrific.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, so that's a good game. However,
Uh,
Guitar
all
Hero
right.
Encore rocks the 80s.
No, okay. There's all right. I'm rocks the '80s. Sure, it's literally just Guitar Hero 2 with a '80s skin on it, but it's got some good songs on
It
it. You
has some
can't
good
lie.
songs on it.
Um, 17. It's got Round and Round by Rat. It's got
17's not a good song.
you
Don't lie to
know,
yourself.
bro.
It's
Okay,
funny.
I like
It's
rocks
funny.
the '80s more than the first one. I like rocks the '80s
Really
more than the first Guitar Hero. Yeah, by a
interesting.
long shot, actually.
Wow. All right. I mean, it's okay.
Like for me, it would be in good tier, but
I can put it in good, but
it
it
is
would
what
have to
it
be
is.
very bottom of good because it's passable. It works. It's hard to
I
explain
mean,
that
it's
game. It doesn't have any bonus tracks. It has the smallest of any of the mainline games. So
because it was more like an expansion for two. I think that's
yeah,
really what it
I
was,
think it
but it
actually I
works.
think
And
it was going to be an expansion, but they're like, we can put this as its own game.
I mean, I don't know. There's I know it's not great, but there's still a weird soft spot I have for that game, even though it's kind of trash a little bit.
It's a little stanky, but it's not too bad. It's okay. It's fine. Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
If you like Guitar Hero 2, you'll like it,
Yeah,
but probably bottom of all right. I don't
bottom of
know
all
because
right.
I never played Aerosmith, and
I
I'm
played
not a
Aerosmith a
fan.
little bit, and I don't like Aerosmith. So
I mean, it's they got a couple good songs, but it's like why? I don't know. I'm just not an Aerosmith fan to where I would want to play a Guitar Hero game that's just Aerosmith.
yeah.
So,
So
I mean, yeah.
Aerosmith, I think it has other songs on it, but you know, it doesn't have a good track list. It just uses the Guitar Hero 3 engine, which is good. It's a very good engine to use. But other than that, it's just a very all right game. It's probably like the pure middle of a Guitar Hero game, in my opinion. Now, all right, here we
Yeah,
go,
sure.
dude. Here we fucking
What's
go.
that one? Because I could barely. Oh man. Okay, so
All right, man.
God, I remember when I purchased that game. I remember when I purchased that game. It was like 2016 or something.
2015. It came out
And
2015.
God damn. All right, so that was almost 8 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember it. So this game, man, there was things they could have done so right with it, but they just ended up not.
Dude, all
For
right.
one
So,
thing,
oh my god, man. The- No, no, keep
the
going.
the the token system, the
Mm-hmm.
token system where like you have to earn, I think it was like tokens or something, enough tokens to play songs on the not the live version, but the
The
what was
TV
it called?
version. It was
The
GHTV.
TV, which that was the only thing that was worth playing in the game. No one wants to play the stupid live
Mm-hmm.
shit. It was so gimmicky. The TV version though had some good songs on it. I'm not gonna
It
lie, it
has
had some
one
really
of the
great songs.
best song lists of any Guitar Hero. I'll admit it is really, really solid. But, but the thing with it,
There's a lot of
it came out at the
there's a lot of
worst
shit.
possible time because this was right as Activision and all those other companies were starting to do like loot boxes and stuff like that. So they decided to help pay off
That's right.
those royalties and stuff that they would owe. Um, they would make in-game transactions for plays and stuff. Now, you could
That's stupid.
you could earn plays through just playing the TV mode, which the TV mode had this like a couple of channels or whatever that you could tune into and play songs live, I guess. And it was like the music video in the background. This was the game with the 6 buttons instead of the five, so I know a lot of people don't fuck with that, but it's not a bad controller. Um, but
Yeah.
there are so many things wrong with this game. I used to be a Guitar Hero Live apologist back in the day, but I have since learned from my ways. I do not like this game. This game scammed me out of my money. This game was super predatory. I hated the play system. Why did you have to earn plays to want to play the thing
It's
that you
just to
want.
play the game.
Yeah, just to play the thing that you want. It's just a terrible idea.
So if it was just, you could put it in god awful. So if it was just
I'd put it
the
here, man.
TV mode,
I like it more than Band Hero.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. If it was just the TV mode where you could play literally any of the songs and it just had the music video in the background, that's all you need. That's literally
Dude,
just
that
all
would
you need,
it would still
and it
probably
would
be
have been
supported
great.
to this day if it didn't have the play system. If it was just a regular Guitar Hero game, it would be insane.
Yeah, but that's a tragic game.
It's incredibly tragic. It's the reason why Guitar Hero has fully died. Um, Without this game, though, we wouldn't have Clone Hero. So I guess you could give it that. Clone Hero is very important. It revived the Guitar Hero scene. But yeah. Now, opposite side of the spectrum, we have one of the best games with Guitar Hero Metallica. Now, obviously, up here.
Yeah,
A
I'll
lot of
put
people
it.
would agree with me. This is a fantastic game.
It's definitely it's got great songs on it. Even if you're not a big Metallica fan, like
There's other
you'd
stuff
like
on
it
it.
just because it has some.
Yeah, it has other
Yeah,
stuff on it too. Like I've been playing Metallica to go for FCs recently, and like the charting on that game, not amazing, but it's fun. Um, I love the settings and the venues in that game. I love the track list. They could not have had a better track list in that game. Like they made sure to include songs that Metallica like themselves. So you have songs like Albatross by
oh, that's
Corrosion of
cool.
Conformity. You have Am I Evil, the original version. You have The Boys Are Back in Town, which I FC'd a couple days ago. That was awesome. It has really good songs on it aside from Metallica. And it's just a really good game. Like, it's probably one of the most solid Guitar Hero games. Uh, I wish it used a better engine. I don't like the
Yeah,
World Tour engine. But other than that, this is a really good game. So I think it deserves up here.
yeah. I mean, I don't like. I don't ever want to go back and play Guitar Hero games, but if I were to pick one to go back to, it'd probably be the Guitar Hero Metallica one.
That's fair.
Just a lot of good memories with that one.
Yeah. Now we have three DS games
What's
lined
that
up.
one?
We have On Tour Decades,
We
Modern
could just
Hits, and
knock
On
them
Tour.
out.
We could knock them out.
I don't know too much. Yeah.
These games, On Tour is okay. Modern Hits suck, and I think Decades is okay. I think that's how it goes. But yeah,
I have
Smash
no
Hits,
clue.
Smash Hits. Now I'm very
Best.
intrigued. I'm very intrigued to hear your take.
I love Smash Hits. I think it has probably like the best. Uh, I mean the best soundtracks. I think, or the best set list.
Now,
It's got some good ones. I mean, granted, they are recycled somewhat from previous Guitar Hero games,
yeah,
but
that's the main
it's like
thing
a
that
good
people do not
compilation.
like about this game is that it was not any new material. It was all stuff from previous games. Now, I do like how they bundled up in one
It's still
package,
good.
but this was made in the era where they could have just made a DLC for this. In fact, Guitar Hero World Tour
Yeah,
DLC
true.
was insane back in the day. Um, Now, I've seen other Guitar Hero
You could
tier
put
lists
it like
before,
great or good.
and they've actually put this here. I don't necessarily agree.
I don't
I
think
think it's a
so.
solid game.
It's like good.
The engine's okay. I think it uses the World Tour engine, which isn't my favorite, but it's fine. It has okay charts. Um, has a very good set list. It's a very inconsistent game. I think I can put it here. I don't
I think
hate this
that's
game.
fine.
I
It's
don't
a
hate
good
this game at all.
spot.
It's just it's weird. It's kind of like this game where they could have just made it into like a DLC. You know, these are the could be DLC games.
This is the good section.
Yeah. Guitar Hero Van
All
Halen.
right. That's,
Now, I don't think you like this game.
uh, I don't remember ever playing it, so I don't know. If I were to guess, besides Metallica, it would probably be the best offshoot game, like for just one band, maybe. I've
Uh,
never played it though, so I don't know what's
I
on it.
really
I know
like
it's just
Van
Van
Halen.
Halen, but
This was another game in that era where they were just cranking out games left and right, but this actually worked out very well. Um, Van Halen's very similar to Metallica in a lot of ways because it's one band, has a lot of venues that are structured around that one band. The set list is structured around that band. There's like no metal songs in this game, other than for some reason the End of Heartache is in this game. But
okay.
I really like this game. It's actually very solid. It's not Metallica quality. It's not 3 quality. I put it below. No, I put it above 5. Um, I like Van Halen. I'm not a big fan of anything after like the mid '80s or anything, but I like their first like few albums. I'm actually like I've delved into those and they're actually pretty solid. So playing those songs are really fun. They're very hard, as you would imagine, because Eddie Van Halen's a very good solo guitarist. But
He's
all the
the
songs are
best.
catchy, man, and it's a really solid game. I really like it. It should be up there. It's a little underrated, dare I say. But yeah, Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock
All right.
up here
So yeah, this
immediately.
one's all you because
Immediately
I
up here.
it's the last of I would call the mainline Guitar Hero games, like the last one. This was released. I remember this one a lot actually, just because the set list was really good. The
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like a career mode where you
Oh,
go
dude,
to
I
unlock
love that
everything.
story mode, man. It's so good. It is so
It's
good.
really cool. I like that
The
game a
power
lot.
ups and shit.
Um,
I
yeah, it's good.
I
I
played
think
this game a lot
you could create
recently.
your own band too.
Mm-hmm. There's so many characters in that
Yeah,
game.
so it was really cool.
It's the most content heavy Guitar Hero ever made. Um, it has like almost 100 songs without DLC. Has really good songs on it too. It has that one Death Clock song on it. It has all 3 of the Megadeth songs on it. This Day We Fight, Sudden Death, and the Holy Wars.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's just really good.
There's that super long Rush song.
Yeah, it has
Remember that one?
all of 2112 parts 1 through 7.
Yeah.
And I think it's
So
really
yeah.
cool. They made its own like venue for it. There's like 7 different venues for that 2112 thing. And just this game is crazy, man. It just has so much. It has one of the best engines ever. It uses the Guitar Hero 5 engine, but it improves upon it. There's star challenges, quick play mode, where you can collect as many stars as you can on a song using 2 different power ups. There's the end of the career mode where you can use all the power ups at the same time. Dude, it's just so crazy. There's so much stuff on this game.
Would you argue? Would you argue it's better than the Guitar Hero Metallica?
From a pure gameplay standpoint, yes. From a set list standpoint, no. It's really hard to compare these two because they're very different games. Now, do I like this more than Metallica? I think I like playing this more than
I mean, it
Metallica.
sounds like it.
It just has so much content in it, you know. I think I'll put it just over Metallica though, just a tiny smidge over it. I love this game, man. Fantastic. One of my favorites, easily. Super
It's a
good.
good game.
Guitar Hero World Tour. Now,
All right.
uh,
Best.
it's one of the
Best.
better games for sure. I don't know if it's best. Setlist could be a little better.
I like.
Engine could be a little better. But it was very revolutionary for its
Oh
time
no, I
because
think
it
the
had
set
the
list
band
is really
thing.
good.
The setlist is good. It's not like Metallica, Warriors of Rock, or Van Halen good, but it's good. I played all these games very recently, so World Tour has a lot of good songs on it. It has 3 Tool songs, I think. It's Parabola, Schism, and Vicarious. All of them are really fun, and they have that Tool venue, which is really cool. The gameplay itself is pretty decent. This is the first one that they included all the different instruments because they wanted to compete with Rock Band back in the day. So drums and vocals were added, and it's very content heavy too. You can make your own rocker. You can make your own song, which is really funny.
Oh
God, that
God.
creation system is really good. um, but yeah, like it's good. It's a very good game. I'd put it like here, maybe. I do like it over three.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think it's best of the best, but it's up there for sure. It has a pretty solid track list. It has an okay engine. I don't like Road Tour's engine too much, as I said, but it's not bad. But yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
Lego Rock Band. Do you
All
have? Do you
right, now
know
we're
enough
hitting
about
the
this
rock
game?
bands.
Do you know more? Like,
It's good. Yeah, it's like good. Okay, I don't think I ever had the guitar for it actually, but I do know the set list a little bit, but it's pretty good. Um, yeah, I think that's fair right there.
all
It's very
right.
gimmicky.
It is very gimmicky. Has a pretty decent soundtrack though. There's interesting songs on it. There's like the Ghostbusters song on it. um,
Yeah, it's stuff like that.
is it "We Will Rock You" or is it "We Are the Champions" that's on it? It's one of those two. Either
I
way, that's an
think
insane
it's We
song
Are
to
the
include.
Champions.
Either way.
Yeah.
Gig, don't know.
What's that one?
Gig,
I
I've
don't
heard
know that one.
very terrible things about. It's like Rock Revolution bad. Not Jarek tier, but it's
Oh
pretty bad.
God.
Um, Rock Band 1. This is probably the rock band that you have one of the lesser things to say about. Rock Band 1
It's
has.
not too.
It's not great. It's it's good.
I like it better than Guitar Hero 1 though.
I'd put it here.
I like it better than Guitar Hero 1.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I like Rock Band 1 more than Guitar Hero 1 because Rock Band 1 you can actually calibrate your fucking guitar. um,
True.
Rock Band 1 has an okay set list. It has really weird outliers. Same with 2. But this is before they really perfected it. Rock Band 1's engine is rough. It's based off the Guitar Hero 2 engine. So it's very rewarding, I guess, but it's very hard. Um, I like the aesthetic of these early Rock Band games where like you would play it and then it has that like kind of cool pre-rendered live set for it. Like it's different from Guitar Hero where it's like kind of more like live, like there's more livelihood to it. This is literally just like a pre-rendered video. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Rock Band. That's all I have to really say for it though. I mean, it's just kind of uninteresting. It's a good game. I do recommend it. It's not like it's not gonna blow your mind or anything. It's just all right. It's a good debut. And Rock Band 2 now goated easily. This is one of the best rhythm games of all time.
It's good.
Um,
What's on 2 again? Because I always get them mixed up. 1 and 2,
Painkiller,
I always get the sets.
Painkiller's on it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Colony of Birchmen, Almost Easy, Master Exploder, uh, Bad Reputation. Has a lot of good songs on it. It has one of
Yeah,
the
I
biggest
remember.
set lists for its time too. If I remember correctly, it's like over 80 songs. Um, Back in the day, a few years ago, I did take the challenge upon myself to play the challenge mode in this game, or whatever it's called. It's like the Iron Bladder Challenge or whatever the fuck. And what that is that it's a set list with every single song in the game, and you have to play it back to back.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I did that. It's about 5 hours long, almost 6, I think,
Ugh.
and I did it. My hands definitely hurt because it's Rock Band 2, so obviously the songs get harder. So by the time you get to like fucking Painkiller, your hands are dead. There's also that weird like brutal death metal song that they included,
It just sounds like
Visions.
carpal tunnel.
I don't know why
It's
they
animosity.
Yeah, I don't know why they added that, but I think that's kind of cool. Uh,
Well, 'cause they have more variety.
yeah. Fuck that chart though. That chart sucks dick. But yeah. Rock
Yeah, it could be pretty hard. It's
Rock Band 3.
Rock Band 3.
I played this. I actually have it. I own this game. A lot of people actually say Rock Band 3 is up here, like in the great, maybe best of the best. I disagree. However, I was not there for the heyday of this game. Uh, Back in the day, this used to use the Rock Band Network thing to where you can download songs for like 99 cents or whatever the fuck.
That was cool. I missed
Yeah, it was
that sort of
really cool.
system.
And this game's engine is also pretty solid. It's not my favorite by any means, but it's not bad. Um, I think it would go here. I like 2 more than 3, but it's definitely better than Smash
Really.
Hits. Um, it has a decent soundtrack, but it's just been so long since I played it that I don't remember a lot of it. But I know it's pretty decent. It has some surprising songs, as Rock Band usually does. But yeah. Unfortunately, 4 and Blitz.
4. Okay, didn't that come out the same time as Guitar Hero Live? I think I
Yes.
remember.
Yeah. This is
Yeah, it's what was I've heard good things about it, but I never actually
Rock Band
went out
4
and
at
purchased it.
launch was horrible. It didn't even have a practice mode for a year. It was very broken. It was unfinished. I think it was very buggy too. But as time went on, I think they still support this game to this day. Uh, Things got a lot better, and as soon as Rock Band Rivals came out, which was like a little thing for it, yeah, it's right here. Oh, so this is released Rock Band 4. Oh, then this goes here. Actually,
Wait, would you argue
here.
Jarek Tier? Because Jarek Tier
Nah,
doesn't even
nah,
have a.
nah. I know what goes in Jarek tier.
Uh-oh. Okay.
But yeah, Rock Band
What,
4.
Rocksmith?
Nah, Rocksmith isn't that bad. But Rock Band 4 at
Alright.
launch was horrible. Uh, Very buggy, very broken. Had a decent set list. It still has a really good set list to this day. But other than that, it was not it. It came out in the dark ages of the rhythm games, which was the mid 2010s. So yeah, Rock Band Blitz. I played a demo of this, but I don't know enough of it.
Bro, we're still in the dark ages.
Nah, Clone Hero actually helped that. Clone Hero is like
That's
good
not it.
enough to kind of like warrant it.
That
And plus, there's other rhythm games out there now
that's
that have
not an
gotten
official
huge.
one.
It's not official, but it's so big now that you can't like ignore it. Like anyone that knows Guitar Hero knows Clone Hero now. It's kind of crazy.
Because it's so dead. That's
Well,
the only
yeah,
option.
I've heard recently that I think, God, was it Vicarious Visions? I think they wanted to make another Guitar Hero game,
Ugh.
which I don't know, bro. If Clone Hero exists, why do you need to make another one? Because it's just gonna get outmatched by Clone Hero.
Yeah. There's no point in making those games anymore.
Yeah. Rock Band Rivals, as I said, it got a lot better. I'd put this like here. Still a little broken, but I've heard very good things that since Rivals came out, that setlist is a lot better. It's a lot less broken. It's a lot more complete of a game. They have practice mode, things like that. So I don't know too much about it, but I know enough about it to where it goes here. This is
I
Rock
haven't
Band
played it, can't
something.
review it.
I don't know what that says.
Something. Rock Band something.
Rock Band
I
something.
never played Rock Band something.
This is Rock Band VR.
So yeah,
I forgot this thing existed.
never played it.
Never played it.
Probably sucks.
Yeah, probably. Rocksmith 2014. This is technically the most recent version of Rocksmith. Uh, it goes here. It's okay. It's whatever people say to you. It's good for learning guitar. No, no, it isn't. It's fun, I guess, if you have everything, if you have the settings down and everything. But don't play Rocksmith if you're trying to learn guitar. Just go on like Songster and learn it that way, because that's actually a good app to use and it's free. So don't play Rocksmith.
Yeah, agreed.
Original Rocksmith. Haven't played it. Beatles Rock Band. It's the Beatles.
Sucks.
Rock Revolution now. This is the last one that we're going to get to. All right.
It's the last one.
Yeah, it's the last
All
one
right.
for the PS2 retrospective. Rock Revolution. It came out 2008 or 9. So like in that huge craze, like Guitar Hero World Tour is out, Rock Band 2 is out, doing numbers. This game is unplayable. This goes in the Jarek tier. This game is literally unplayable. There are no
Whoa,
words.
Jarek got a tier.
Let's go. There are no words to describe how bad this game is. This is a game with covers. This is a game where there are DLC, and the DLC has broken notes in it, like notes you can't hit because they're programmed so badly that you can't hit them. Well, actually, no. That's entirely not true. I've seen people that hit it. They can hit the notes, but they have to go in a really weird latency. Like they have to go in like negative 100 millisecond latency for whatever reason. So this game is just terribly programmed. The fretboard is really weird. It was just a really bad cash grab that sold like 10,000 units, and it's very bad. Very bad game.
What kind of songs are even on it?
You know what? We can look it up. Rock
Okay, all right.
Revolution.
Oh, I like that. I like the little
Set list.
the-
Yeah, you like the
wallpaper you
background?
have.
Rock
Yeah.
Revolution. Yeah, you guys are going on this Wikipedia adventure with us. Y'all can see this, right? Yeah, they can. Yeah, it came out 2008. Crazy. Music video game. Published by Konami. Yep. Konami made this. This is how the game looks.
Of course. I can barely see that. Okay. It
That's
looks like a Flash game a little bit.
That's the drums. So what we got? We have All My Life by Foo Fighters, All the Small Things by Blink-182, Blitzkrieg Bop, Chop Suey.
Okay.
Oh, this fucking cover is amazing. The Chop Suey cover on Rock Revolution is fucking
Oh, they're
awesome.
all covers.
Yep. Well, some of them are, I think.
Wow.
Last Resort by Papa Roach. Hell yeah. Holy Wars? Falling Away From Me by Korn? What kind of track list is this, bro?
Oh.
Walk by Pantera. Pain by 3 Days Grace. Wow. Downloadable content. Who the frick is messaging me on Discord right about now?
Oh no, this looks like a game that was made in like Newgrounds.
Oh yeah, look at these reviews. 38, 3, 2 out of 5. 7 out of 10. Let's go, Game Informer.
Well, of course, Game Informer is gonna fucking say that.
Yeah. Game Informer, they'll give a 7 out of 10 to fucking like Bubsy 3D, I swear. But yeah, that's this. So now we're almost at the
Yeah,
1
that's
hour
that.
mark. So I guess we are going to switch to the PS2 retrospective here.
Switching gears here.
Switching gears.
Yeah,
on
I'll
Monday
just
nights.
name off some. But yeah, PS2 is one of my favorite consoles. I just thought we would do kind of a retrospective on some of the big games that have come out on that title or on that console. I mean, um, just legendary kind of games. You could just tell me what you think of them. So we'll start off with like Tony Hawk, I guess. So the Tony Hawk games that came out on the PS2.
The first one was
I think
Pro
it
Skater
started
3.
off with Pro Skater 2.
It was 3.
Oh, it wasn't 2?
Two was
Okay.
PS1 and something else. God, there was like another version of two that came out on another console. I just don't remember which, but yeah, it was PS1. So
I
first
had
one
Pro
was three.
Skater 1.
Pro Skater One it's a game.
I have it on the N64. It's definitely
It's a game.
I mean, it has a good soundtrack, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's not as good as the PS2 ones.
definitely not.
Um,
But yeah, it started with three. Pro Skater 3, I actually own this game, like right now. Uh, it's a good game.
Me too.
It's not like it's not up there with some of the other ones that came out later, but it's a very good foundation for those games. It has a really good engine, has a really good soundtrack. It's very fun to play, but it's a little janky here and there. But honestly, a lot of people have very fond memories of that game, and honestly, more power to y'all because that game's pretty solid. Um, yeah, a lot of people say three is one of their favorites, and that's fine. For me, I'd say it's maybe
People
like
say it's the
top five.
best.
Yeah, it's weird. People say two's the best, which sure, you can say that. It's a very good game, but
People say people say 4 is the best too.
yeah, it's like two through Underground. That's like everyone's favorites.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, it's arguable, yeah.
yeah, you're not wrong for having any of those picks as your favorite, like at all. But all those games are really good.
Yeah, we could talk about Underground since that's probably you and I's like most favorite and
Hmm.
nostalgia wise, like because you
Now,
speedrun that game or you've tried to.
yeah, I used to. Now in the years since, um, when people ask me what my favorite game is, I usually say no. Like I don't really have one. Um, but now that I kind of think about it, it could be Tony Hawk's Underground. It's very weird. I like no matter like what time of day it is, what day it is, I could be doing something. I I would love to fucking play Tony Hawk's Underground literally like anytime. It's just such a fun game. I know it like the back of my hand because I used to speedrun it and stuff. I've played multiple playthroughs of it on the hardest difficulty, on the easiest difficulty. It's it's just so good. I I love the soundtrack in that game. I love the gameplay itself. It's a little like I wouldn't say janky, but it's a little like buggy, but not to the way it detriments the game. It's buggy to where you can exploit it and have fun with it. Um, the combos you can rack up in that game are really cool. The special tricks that you can make in that game, because I think it's the first game with the create a special trick. Those are really funny. um, the game story mode is funny. Uh, it's just really, it's just a really solid game. It's probably the peak of the Tony Hawk franchise, in my opinion. It's definitely my favorite. It's if it's not my favorite game,
Definitely.
it's one of my favorite games.
And you gotta love the McDonald's fucking ad placement everywhere,
Yeah, it's
which is
hilarious,
just
dude.
funny to me.
Has so many inside jokes between me and Aflex that spawned over the years.
Oh yeah, like
Mr.
fucking
Peralta's not
Stacy
here right
Peralta
now.
and fucking Eric, the biggest betrayal of any game.
Yeah, fucking Chad Muska and Tony Hawk's Underground. His first name is Chad, dude. That's all I gotta
He's a
say.
total Chad.
Yeah. But yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, Tony Hawk was pretty legendary for the PS2. It's definitely if you ever get a PS2, you gotta play that. Like any of those
It's a
games,
must. It's a
literally
must play.
any of them.
They're really cheap too.
Great. Yeah, they are really cheap. Um, see, we'll move on. So what are your opinions on the Grand Theft Auto series during this time? I'll
PS2.
go over three.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
PS2 had three. Had Vice City, had San Andreas, and it had
and
Vice City
San
Stories.
Andreas.
Um, Vice City Stories, I'm not gonna really get into because we don't really know a whole lot about that game. But uh, we know the trilogy from that pretty well. I mean, it's a big part of our childhood. And three,
Yeah.
starting off with three, back in the day, I used to really like this game. And for its time, it's kind of great. However, when you play it on the PS2 now, uh, it has this weird like motion blur effect. I think this in Vice City has it too, and it makes it really hard to play. Just looking at it, it gives me like motion sickness almost.
It is. I'll admit that. I This was the first Grand Theft Auto game I've ever played, which shows how old I am. But yeah, for the time, this was groundbreaking. Like no one, because the amount of size on the game, especially for the PS2, like it was crazy. Um, like you could literally drive like anywhere and fucking it. The amount of open world was just insane. Sure, the graphics haven't held up, and there's like a weird motion blur, and there's not a lot of interactivity as there is with the later Grand Theft Auto games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, obviously, I can admit to that. But for its time, it's definitely one that a lot of people have played, and a lot of people can cite as, oh, this is a great Grand Theft Auto game. Um, San Andreas, damn, I remember playing this nonstop when I was, god damn, this had to have been like probably like 15, 16 years ago. Like this was literally all I played for a time. Like just no, it's crazy. The story was really really good. The amount of interactivity was great. Memorable characters. A lot of people cite this. I mean, besides Grand Theft Auto 5, people would probably say San Andreas is their favorite. And
Yeah, it's
I mean,
usually just
I
five or
agree.
San Andreas. Some people say Vice City,
Yeah,
which Vice City I have played.
Vice City,
It's really good.
it's good.
It's a really good game. It's
It's
just three but better. It is three but better.
Yeah, I agree. And if you like the '80s kind of flair it has, like because it's set in the '80s, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna really like that game. It's very colorful. It's set in, I believe
Miami.
Florida, right? Like
Yeah,
Vice City.
Miami.
Yeah, yeah, it's Miami. Yeah, yep. So yeah, those are great games. I mean, if you're okay with a little subpar graphics, I guess for nowadays standards, and you like that kind of retro era, I definitely would recommend those three games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I haven't played Vice City Stories, but I mean I've heard good things about it. I think it's just the same
It's the same. It's the same
kind
sort of
of.
thing. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, pretty much.
San Andreas to me, um, San Andreas was actually, believe it or not, one of the first games I played ever. This was back when Aflex was playing the game religiously, and I would hop on the controller when I was like 3 or whenever. I was much too young to be playing fucking GTA San Andreas. But uh, regardless, that game is fantastic. The gameplay, the graphics haven't held up like super super well. Uh, Obviously has aged a little bit because it's still in that semi early like 3D kind of phase. But they really mastered it with that game, and it's really good. Um, I love the story. I love the characters. I love the soundtrack. Soundtrack doesn't get enough love in that game. It has really good songs in that.
It is a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, it has an even better soundtrack than
I
GTA
forgot to
5.
mention that.
And
I agree.
it's just crazy. Yeah, I just love San Andreas. It's one of the first games I ever played. It's very nostalgic to me. Um, I haven't played it in a little bit because I don't own the game anymore. But I'm sure once I do, I'll start playing it a little bit again.
Yeah, it's not like super expensive to own, so I mean you could probably find that relatively cheap.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Moving on. So I would rank. I would talk about Madden from that era, but I think Madden deserves its own episode, like entirely on
Yeah.
this podcast. I think
Mm-hmm.
we should rank all the Madden games. I think that would be a really good
Madden tier
podcast that
list.
we'll do in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We should do
and
that when Madden
I would
comes
tell.
out. We should do that when Madden 24 comes out.
Sure, sure. Yeah, we'll plan for that. That sounds fair. Um, 3D era Mortal Kombat games. I think we've covered it enough in the Mortal Kombat episode to where I don't really think we really need to go over it. Um,
Yeah, to summarize, 3D MK was Deadly Alliance, it was Deception, it was Shaolin Monks, and it was Armageddon. And all of
Armageddon.
those
Yep.
games range from very good to fantastic, depending on who you are. I know some people don't like the
Yeah,
3D
it really
MKs.
depends.
Yeah, uh,
Yeah.
some people don't like the 3D MKs, which that's fine. Um, as long as you don't as long as we both don't like games like MK versus DC Universe, I think we can get along. uh,
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why if people like the newer games, I completely understand why. I mean, they're just awesome, but
yeah,
the 3D ones have like some of the best story elements in the MK games.
it's the dark ages for Mortal Kombat characters, but other than that, I think has really good gameplay, has really good story, um, and plus it's just wacky. It doesn't take itself seriously, like or at least as seriously as the last couple games have.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you guys have like chess combat, motor combat.
Motor Combat's awesome. That could be its own game.
We have enough Mario Kart ripoffs in the market, so
Yeah.
let's see. Where are some other ones?
SmackDown
Oh, here, I
games.
want to talk about God of.
Oh, God of War.
Yeah, we could do that. Or wait, actually, yeah. You want to do a WWE games tier list too? We could do that like for a whole nother podcast. I think that deserves its own podcast
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
because we would have a lot to say. I don't think it would do it justice just to cover it now.
That could
So
be like the tier list itself could be its own episode just because the amount of games that we played.
yeah, we could actually do that next episode since we don't have a plan. Um,
Yeah. Sure.
but yeah, here I'll talk about God of War because recently people have been giving the first God of Wars like the reputation as they're all right, like or they're okay, but they're forgettable games. I think mostly just because the newer God of War games have come out, and I totally understand. Like the newer God of War games are like completely a thing on their own, and they're awesome. Um, but I mean, I have to give credit to the first ones because they're just so. The story of those games is so good. The gameplay is so fun. The I mean, the whole hack and slash mechanic of that game. Um,
Yeah.
the bosses are just super crazy. I love the Greek mythology in the game. The fact that you're fighting against fucking Ares and Zeus and the first God of War I literally had just completed a few days ago. It was hard as shit.
Yeah. That game is
Um,
brutal, dude.
it is. It's really brutal, and it's one of those games where like if you lose a bunch of times, it'll keep asking you, "Do you want to switch to easy mode?" And it'll piss you off because it knows you suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that game was awesome. I'm about to play two now and finish that game because
Two is
two is
so
probably my
good. Two
it,
is so good.
it's truly good. It's so good. It's like has the best bosses. It has the best power ups in that game. Fucking, I mean, it literally just takes the first game and just amps it up. Um, God of War 3 wasn't released on the PS2, but that game's one of my favorites too. I have it for PS4, the remastered version, and I mean that one's awesome too. I really miss that kind of style. I know Dante's Inferno had that same style. I think it was made by the same studio. Which that game, I wish they
Underrated.
made a sequel to that game. Very
Underrated.
good game.
Incredibly underrated. It's so overlooked. It's kind of crazy. People kind of just like dismiss it. Oh, it's just a God of War ripoff. That doesn't mean anything. That's like saying God of War is
Yeah,
like
no,
a
it's
Devil May
a good
Cry
game.
ripoff when you really think about it, because that whole combo
True,
system
true.
and the
When you
hit
think about
system.
it.
Yeah, it's like saying that. So Dante's Inferno is kind of its own thing. We'll probably mention it at some other point if we ever do like a PS3 retrospective or anything like that. But yeah, the
I mean, we'll
PS2.
have to. We'll
Yeah,
have to do that.
yeah. Um, God of War 3 wasn't on PS2, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was PS3, and then it later got ported to PS4.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
It was
but
just
yeah,
one
no,
and
that
two.
was a great one too.
Um.
Uh,
mm,
see, what else is it? Series? I mean, you just said Devil May Cry, so do
yeah,
you
we
want
could get
to
into
talk
that
about Devil May Cry?
now.
Because I know you got some stuff to say.
I have some things to say. Devil May Cry is not my thing. Uh, if it's your thing, more power to you. That's fine. We can disagree on some things. It's just, uh, it's not like it's a bad franchise or anything. There's obviously some good games. It's just those games aren't necessarily my thing. Um, what some people don't know, Devil May Cry 1 was originally going to be Resident Evil 4. Um, after
Oh yeah,
3,
yeah.
yeah, after 3 came out, uh, they wanted to take a really different direction with the series, and they and Leon became this white-haired kind of dude that was just like slaying fucking demons and shit, I guess. And then they're like, "Ah, we're good." Because Resident Evil 4, some people don't know about that is that it was in development hell for a while. Like they started Resident Evil 4, I think, before Resident Evil 3 was even finished. So from 99 to 2005, I think, is when it came out. It was in development. So yeah, that later became Devil May Cry 1, and DMC 1, uh, as goofy as that game is and how it has a lot of charm to it,
It's fun.
it's
Come
a
on.
fun game. It's just not for me. It's a little bit too, I wouldn't say dated or anything, but it just kind of has that old kind of cryptic kind of style to it that I don't necessarily enjoy. Um, the fixed camera angles in Devil May Cry don't really work, in my opinion, because it's more action heavy. Um, when it's fixed in a horror game like Resident Evil, it kind of keeps you on your toes, you know? Because when the camera jumps, like you immediately have to like settle your eyes on it. Um, when it's in an action game like Devil May Cry, it doesn't necessarily like give you that suspense. It kind of just disorients you because you don't know, where the enemies are. You don't know where you are. Um, so it's just it's a flawed game in my opinion, but it's good. It is a good game. It's just not for me personally.
That's fair. I mean, I like it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
What's? Oh, here's a good one. Um, Twisted Metal Black.
Oh hell yeah! All right, System Metal Black.
Yeah, I love Twisted Metal Black.
Underrated as shit game. I think Twisted Metal in general is underrated and very overlooked because people don't really talk about it anymore. There is that show coming out. Did you see that? There's a Twisted Metal show coming
There's
out.
a show coming out.
Yeah, and it looks
And
like
it had,
shit.
you know who Sweet Tooth is?
Is it Samoa Joe?
Yeah, but do you know who plays Sweet Tooth? It's Samoa Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think Nev Campbell from Scream is in it, the main
what
girl
the
from Scream.
what the fuck?
It's very yeah.
And Will
But
Smith
yeah,
is in
no.
it. Dude, I
Yeah, I'm not. I don't watch video game kind of stuff like media, but yeah, it doesn't look too good.
yeah.
But Twisted Metal Black though, I remember playing it with my dad, like God, years and years ago, and it's just super fun. I love the dark atmosphere of that game. Um, it's super. I mean, the stages on that are just crazy.
I love the characters
The
in it.
car designs are awesome.
I love the characters
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
I think Outlaw
Characters
number
are
3
awesome.
is in that game. I think.
Yeah.
And Outlaw 3, um, Outlaw 1 was in Twisted Metal 2, Twisted Metal 1. It was just this cop, and then in canon, I think they won, and then they were just like sent to space as a part of their like wish or whatever the fuck. Um, Outlaw 2
Yeah.
was his wife or whatever, or like his sister, and she also got sent up to space because she quote unquote wanted to see her relative or whatever. So, you know, he was like, he just sent him up there, and now there's Outlaw 3. I just love Twisted Metal, dude.
Yeah.
I love
No.
that franchise, and I love Black. The only real gripe I have with it, it's a little too dark. It's a little like you can't see anything in that game. It's like Silent Hill fog almost.
Yeah. You definitely have to turn the brightness on that game a lot just to even see it.
Yeah,
So
but other than that, that game is sick. It's a little hard, uh, especially if you don't go like with like the meta pick. Like if you just go with like the bicycle girl, it's gonna be really fucking hard. But yeah, I love I love Twisted Metal Black. I love Twisted Metal in general. I think the PS3 Twisted Metal is insanely underrated too, but I'll go further into that on the PS3 retrospective.
yeah, we'll definitely do a PS3 kind of retrospective maybe here in the next coming episodes.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to think of other games. What else have we played? Oh yeah, you can go on the because you play like the Sean Palmer's like pro
Mm-hmm.
snowboarder a lot. I know that's like one of your favorite games
I
on
wouldn't
the
say it's
PS2,
one of
so
my
we could go
favorite
ahead and
games. However, it's probably one of the more fun games I've played on it. Um, if you guys don't know this game,
you
this
play that game
is
all the time though.
yeah. Well, it's just because it's really fun. It's not like a great, fantastic game or anything. It's just really fun. Um, if you guys don't know what this game is, Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder. Uh, it's a game in the same vein as the Tony Hawk's games. It was actually made with the Pro Skater 3 engine, and it's really fun. It's a little janky. Like obviously, making a snowboarding game off a skateboarding game is a little weird, but honestly, I think it worked really well. I think the gameplay in it is really fun. It's kind of hard because lots of the tricks you have to get a lot of airtime for to keep going. But I like the downhill nature of the game. I like the tricks that you can do. I like the customization, even if it's a little primitive. I like how there's 10 different board sets you can work with that all give you different special moves. Um, I love the stages in that game. It's a pretty solid game. Uh, some kind of just dismiss it as like a Tony Hawk ripoff, which I mean, it's the same name. It's made by the same studio. I wouldn't say it's a ripoff or anything. It's more of like an
Yeah,
offshoot. But honestly, that
yeah,
game's
it
really
kind of
cool.
is. That's one of the first games actually I remember playing like vividly was that snowboarding game. So
Has a really good
it's
multiplayer.
definitely
Like that versus mode is
has a good
honestly really
soundtrack.
sick. Dude, that soundtrack is hilarious, dude. It is the most new metal sound. It's the most new metal game ever made. Just
Pretty much, yeah.
2001 fucking snowboarding with that Static X intro with the shitty 3D graphics. It's the most new metal game ever. But yeah,
Definitely a good game.
yeah, it's fun, dude. If you ever see it, I'm sure it's very cheap because I mean, not everyone owns this game. But if you guys ever see it, like your retro game store, I highly recommend getting it. It's kind of a steal.
Yeah, it's super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, see, we're not really Final Fantasy guys at all, so I'm not really gonna get into Final Fantasy, um, or like shit like Kingdom Hearts. I was never
Yeah,
into those games for the
I
PS2.
I don't
I
like
just
Kingdom
never
Hearts,
got it.
dude. I don't care what anyone says, bro. I can get hate on this all day. Kingdom Hearts is not that great. of a game, especially the first one. First one's kind of weird and
It's
janky.
always it's always like the anime kind of weirdos who play that game, and I
True.
never really understood it. I don't get weeaboo games and with Goofy and Daffy Duck or not Daffy Duck, Donald Duck in it. I never got it, so I it's not really my thing. Let's see, I have a whole list of just the best PS2 games. I'm just trying to think of ones I played. Um,
It goes. All right. I'm gonna interject with something. Um,
yeah, yeah.
this is gonna be a one-off technically, and it'll be kind of weird for me to not mention this game, considering I'm kind of known for it. Uh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses, 2001. Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
PS2 game.
Definitely have a lot to say about that game.
I think it's exclusive. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's a PS2 exclusive. Um,
Yeah, it is. I think because wasn't there one that released specifically for the Xbox or something?
I
Or
think
I could
so.
be wrong.
I think so. But yeah, that game. Now, don't get me wrong, it is not a great game. It is not. But the reason why I'm mentioning this, if you don't already know, I speedrun this game. I still do to this day. In fact, I'm actually going to continue doing it very soon. And the reason why I
Nice.
do is because this game's incredibly nostalgic to me. I know everything about this game. I know like how everything works. I know how to manipulate the AI. So it's like I really like running this game because I'm actually not too far off from the world record. I'm about uh, less than 10 minutes off, I think. So
Yeah, aren't you about like 12th place
I'm eighth
or
now.
something on
I'm
speedrun.com?
eighth now.
Oh, eighth. Wow.
Yeah. Uh, I want to get to top five, which I think I would have to get a 104 run. Which yes, speed runs of this game take an hour. It's and it makes this game kind of like weird in a way, like the speed run. It's very infuriating to reset, but it's insanely rewarding once you get that like that special run. This game is so reliant on luck and the AI doing the correct thing that you're trying to set it up to do. Um, that once you get everything done, it just feels so rewarding. It's like you really deserve it, you know. Like it's that luck factor. It's a lot of it's skill. Don't get me wrong. You have to know what you're doing for a lot of it, but you have to draw correctly. You have to, you know, like manipulate the AI and hope it does the thing that you want. So it's not like it's all skill based or anything, but I really like that luck onto it because out of nowhere you could just have like the run of your life and it makes you feel real fucking good about it. So I still speedrun this game. I'm probably gonna be streaming it soon. But yeah, I would be kind of hard pressed not to mention this, considering I'm eighth on the leaderboards and stuff, and I'm kind of known for speedrunning it. I've been speedrunning for 5 years now. Ain't that something? That's really weird to think about.
My God damn.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I didn't I give you the one I had,
I
the
think you did.
original?
I think I still have it. I I I,
Yeah.
I don't usually play it on console that much anymore because I have no reason to. Uh, and the reason why I say that is because when you start a new game, you don't have to go through all the intro. You can just have a save state at the intro, so I don't have to skip through 5 minutes of text boxes.
Yeah. Because the
So
text rape in that game is for real.
yeah, oh, bro, it's yeah. One of these days I'll do console runs. Once I get a capture card, I'll go on the console leaderboard. But yeah, that's that game.
Yeah, I got the Capsule Monster Coliseum a few months ago. It's basically just like the I just got it because it was a PS2 Yu-Gi-Oh game. That's the only reason why I got it. But it's like Dungeon Dice or something.
Dungeon Dice
I
Monsters.
haven't played it yet. Yeah, I haven't really worked up the nerve to play it, but it looks like something. Um, but yeah, I think one we should talk about. just because of how iconic it is. One that I don't have a lot of nostalgia playing for, but it's something my dad had from what I remember. Silent Hill games.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, yeah, no, definitely. Silent Hill 2 and 3 are probably, I mean, it's
They're crazy.
it's already, yeah, no, they're crazy games, but I mean, everyone touts it as probably the greatest survival horror games you could play on the PS2, and I definitely agree. I mean, it's definitely just something all on its own, and something I feel like if you have a PS2, or even if you have it on like the stupid HD collection, I know that one gets a lot of shit, and I completely understand why. I mean, just to play it though is just super awesome.
It doesn't ruin the game. A lot of people kind of
It,
say that HD collection ruins the
I mean,
games. It really doesn't. It's
uh,
not good.
it,
They're very bad ports of the games because they were literally made with unfinished code. But it could be a lot worse.
it's like yeah, but they took out really stupid things from that game that should have been in the game. I mean, and plus, like towards the end of the game, for some reason, the sound goes off with the lip syncing, so it just looks awkward and weird. Like it looks like you're watching like a Japanese or like an English dub of like a Japanese movie. That's what it looks like, and
Wow.
it gets pretty ridiculous. But yeah, I had to mention those games just because of how iconic those ones were. And it's not a lot of games. I would mention the Star Wars games, but there's so many Star
There
Wars
are
games where I feel
so
like
many.
that would
Yeah.
so many to where I feel like that deserves a tier list in a episode in of itself. So yeah, I mean we have some stuff lined up now just going over this.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's given us some ideas. Um, but yeah, are there any more games you feel like should be
Um.
mentioned?
Hmm.
I
I
know we're
don't
probably
know.
glossing over some.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. We just need to like think of some.
Oh god, what about Ace Combat 5?
I've
The
only
one
played
everyone.
five, dude.
I mean, I've never played the other ones, but
Did you ever play
that's a
Metal
good
Gear
game.
Solid 3?
Oh, I own it. I own one, two, and three because I actually got those at a. It was like a deal. It was like $20 for all three games. This was back when buyback games was a thing. If
Hmm.
y'all are Colorado, if any of you guys watching are like Colorado natives, and y'all remember buyback games, then y'all know what's up.
Yeah, y'all are real. Y'all are real motherfuckers,
Yeah,
dude.
for real, because that place shut down a few years ago, but that was like my retro game hub for like a good while. Um, but yeah, no, I got some good deals from that place. All the Metal Gear games, I got all the Devil May Cry games from that place. And this was all back when like the PS2 games weren't really. I mean, there were some expensive ones, but they aren't like as expensive as to where they are now. Like, I got like God some like weird games like Resident Evil Outbreak. I got which that's
That's a
going
PS2
pretty
game.
high now.
Yeah, that's a PS2 game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should probably
Yeah,
talk about Resident Evil
we should
games. Huh?
talk about the Resident Evil PS2 games. Now, the PS2 games have they have nothing on the PS1 games. Obviously, that goes without saying. But there are still really good
True.
games.
Yeah.
Outbreak is on it. That's a good game. Uh, I don't.
Four.
Yeah, four's on it.
Four is great.
Four was originally going to be a GameCube exclusive. How funny is that?
That's weird. That's
Yeah, now
weird.
it's on every console ever made.
Code Veronica.
I need to play that. You saw that I have it. I bought it at the retro game store near
I
me in
have
North
it too.
Carolina,
Yeah.
and I need to play it, dude. It looks fucking fun. You can like dual wield and aim both the guns in different directions. Shit
No,
looks
it's
awesome.
definitely like really good. I haven't played it yet, but I mean, it looks like it's one of the better like Resident Evil games. So um, I've wanted to play that. I also got the Wii. God, what was it? Umbrella Chronicles. That's a good game too, but it's more like a style of like an arcade shoot 'em up.
Hmm.
Um, but no, it looks pretty good though. Yeah, no, those games are really good too.
Yeah, Resident Evil was kind of in
I
a
mean the newer
lull
ones.
in the PS2 era. Like they kind of skipped two a little bit. It was mainly just one
A little
and
bit.
three that they made a lot of games for.
It doesn't have the. I feel like PS3 had the worst Resident Evil games though. Like 5 and 6, I'm just not big on
Five
at
isn't
all.
that bad. All right, let's. I'm a little bit of a five apologist, but the story isn't that good. I'll admit. Like
Yeah,
it's a little funny. It's a little funny. If you don't take it seriously, it's a pretty good game. I'm tr-
yeah, but I mean it's a Resident Evil game. You have to take it seriously.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I
what other
mean,
PS2 games are we not thinking of?
yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. 'Cause there's some that we're gonna have to save for a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
But
Madden and SmackDown for sure.
um,
Star Wars. I mean, we can mention
yeah,
a couple because that list is going to be huge in and of itself. So, I mean,
true. Yeah. Um, I mean, I'll say it here. Battlefront 2,
one of the
Star
best
Wars
games,
Battlefront 2 is
one of the
probably
best games ever made, in my opinion. It's fantastic, dude. I don't care what anyone says.
it's
It's fucking awesome.
it's great.
yeah. Battlefront
It's
1,
great. Yeah,
underrated
no,
as shit, too.
there's
It's just 2, but with less content.
pretty much. I mean, I remember playing 1 before 2 because that's how old I am. Um, and yeah, like no, it definitely ahead of its time. I know people don't like third person shooters too much as opposed to first person, but uh,
Pick the sniper character. That way you're in first person.
yeah, yeah, there you go. um, but no, the maps were crazy on that game. I love the planet maps on that game. Just a lot to choose from. Not as much content as 2, but I mean 1 still holds up. It's still got some cool stuff on it. 2, however, I mean, it, there's not a lot that needs to be said. It's just good on every aspect. The system where you're fighting as like a Jedi or Sith is really super fun to play. Um, I don't want to get into the other games that were made later, like the Battlefront remakes, but
yeah.
2, um,
Two's great.
man, the Mos Eisley level where you can play as like all Jedi versus Sith or whatever. I mean, that's so cool. Um,
Fucking Yoda doing
the
like
maps are
800
really good.
flips.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was so good. And you could get like overpowered weapons in that game. Like if you're like really good and you're not getting killed and stuff, like the more the more people you kill, the more like points you get towards like upgraded weapons and stuff. So
There's
I
even
mean that was
classes that you have to unlock by killing a lot of people. Like that's how you unlock like assists and stuff.
yeah, yeah. And I actually got the PC version uh, through like an illegal downloading website because I don't pay for my shit ever.
well, I mean, you
But
have
yeah,
the
I
game, so
downloaded.
I think that's fine. Like you literally own
Yeah, no, I have
Battlefront
it,
2
but
on PS2, so I mean, it's not like you don't have the license to the game.
true, true. But Battlefront 2 on the PC, if you download it through Steam, there's a thing, I forget if it's a mod you can download, but there's a mod where it's super easy to download. It comes with all the Battlefront 1 packs,
Huh.
so you could play on any of the Battlefront 1 maps. Um, and then also you could change up your like troopers and stuff like to different colors, and
That's really cool,
they
actually.
add like different, yeah, they add different like uh Jedi's and Siths and stuff, like different more unknown ones. So I think that's really cool. And they even have some maps from Knights of the Old Republic, which I thought is really cool too.
Honestly, the amount of care that went
Um,
into both those Battlefront games is kind of insane. Like the maps look really good for their time. Is the correct? I know this probably
oh yeah,
goes without saying, but you would be surprised how games work nowadays. But it's the correct classes of trooper and stuff for each level. Like you'll get the snow troopers in Hoth, and you'll get in Kashyyyk you'd get like the clone troopers and shit. Uh, and the Jedi's too. Like Yoda would be in the fucking jungle level. All that stuff. Like it's crazy how much they knew. Like it's really
yeah.
like a
It's
game
based on the
made by
movies and
fans. Yeah,
everything. So
it's like it's a game made by fans
yeah,
for
so it's
fans.
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And those all are always the best games when
Hmm.
they're made by people who actually like care about what they're making. So
Yeah,
um, I'm and Mortal Kombat is like that too, where I mean like I say what you want about like 11 and stuff, but 11 has like so much like hidden stuff that's like from like only if you're like an old school Mortal Kombat fan like you would even understand or get.
yeah.
Um, like fucking Edenian armor is like a fucking what is it? It's like a thing you can apply to like your character or whatever. But Edenian armor was also a thing in Armageddon where you can put on your creative fighter, like it's an actual armor.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that, or there's like mentions to like um, super minor characters that otherwise have no reason to be in the game, but it just makes it that more the lore that much more rich, in my opinion. So yeah, I just think those kinds of games are just like ones that you'll keep going back to.
11 gets shat on a little bit. Like I know the grind was kind of lame, and I'm starting to agree with people that fatal blows are kind of fucking lame too, just from a competitive standpoint. But literally, like the amount of care and the amount of detail in that game is kind of cool. Like you don't really see that with a lot of games anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. Um,
Yeah,
is
we
there
are.
any other PS2 games?
I was about to say we are approaching that time where we should probably end this sort of soon. Why is my mouse being weird? You okay?
Yeah, I think it's. I think we've
There you go.
covered most. I'm sure people come up with games that they love in there, which, uh, I mean, to all fairness, we probably just haven't played the games that you guys like. If we're
Yeah,
missing any,
I
so
mean we haven't played
um,
every PS2 game, obviously. There's obviously some bigger ones
yeah,
that
of
we haven't
course
played,
not.
but we played a good amount, and I think that gives us at least somewhat of a right to kind of give us somewhat of a retrospective on it. Yeah, we love all these games for the most part, and honestly, the PS2 is just it definitely deserves to be the number two best selling console of all time. It's just so fucking good.
I mean, it's definitely my favorite. It's my
Yeah,
favorite console of all
it's
time, and
absolutely my
I don't
favorite
think
too.
anything will ever beat that.
As much as I
I
like the
bought my
PS4,
PS2.
as much as I like the PS4,
Yeah,
PS2 wipes it easily.
yeah, I do like the PS4 a lot, but the PS2 is just. I mean, I bought my PS2 about 8 years ago. It was at a Goodwill shop in Vegas, and I remember it. I bought it for $30. It came with two controllers, a game inside. It was some like game you wouldn't really care about it, but it's like the Spartan Total Warrior, I think it was. It had it just inside. It came with a 32 like megabyte uh, memory card. It was all for $30, and I still have it. It's actually sitting right next to me. Um, but yeah, it still runs fine. Probably it was probably made like 20 something years ago, and I mean, stuff was really made to last back then, and you could really see it. Whereas like nowadays, like consoles and phones and
Controllers.
all all types of other stuff, they'll break down within a matter of a few months, and you have to get them replaced. But
Dude, my
no, I mean,
my pink. You remember when I got that pink controller with you at level 7? It was for my PS5. It was for
which
my
controller
PS5.
was it?
It was a PS5 controller, and it was a
Yeah,
pink one.
yeah,
Yeah, that one has so much stick drift. I can't even play it anymore already. I have to
yeah.
rely on
See,
my
like
black one.
it's like I still have my black one, the one that came with it, and it works just fine. I mean, sometimes there's a little bit of like a drift, but like it's so
Yeah.
that's like once on like a rare occasion. But yeah, no, like I said, stuff back then was made to last, and the PS2 was definitely.
Now things are made for profit.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why there's
That's
all
why
the games
controllers are
now are.
fucking $80 now.
That's why games now are just all like loot boxes, and
To
you
be
know
fair, that's starting to go away
if
a
you.
little bit. Like, there's not as many loot boxes. It's just we're in the age of the season pass now. Not the loot
Oh
box.
yay.
Yeah. So for better and for worse, I guess. But yeah, I think we've gone on long enough. We love the PS2. We grew up with it, obviously, as you can tell. And if you're very interested in one of the games that we have talked about, by all means, go to your nearest retro game shop and buy it if you already have a PS2. I know that PS2s are starting to creep up in price a little bit, so make sure you're getting a good deal for yours. I'd recommend eBay or
Yeah, get
Goodwill.
it now while you can.
Yeah, while you can, definitely. Same with discs. I read somewhere that 87% of classic video games are now critically endangered. So make sure you're getting a good deal on that too.
Yeah, make sure you're taking care of your shit
Yeah,
if you have,
exactly.
you know, old school stuff, because that stuff will wear down and get scratched up. So
Yeah, tell me about it. My
make sure you're
PS2 is already
taking care
fucked
of your
up.
stuff.
So, um, but yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. It'll probably be the let's do the SmackDown one since we haven't done a wrestling podcast in a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't ranted on WWE in a while, so I'll be happy to do that.
All right. Yeah, so next main
All
episode at
right.
least, I don't know if we're going to do a discography dive or not, but we will do the SmackDown game tier list. And it'll have all the SmackDown and SmackDown versus Raw games, and probably the 2K games as well. I don't see why not. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, no, we're gonna do all of them. So
yeah, all the ones that we played, we'll do. So we'll see y'all later, and bye bye.
see y'all on the flip side.
See you later, alligators.